Welcome to Destined for Greatness podcast. I am your host, Devin Woods. I got another one for y'all. I'm not going to stop, like I told y'all. This time, this one is very, very special to me. This is a very, very special person to me. But first of all, let me give you a little bit of his accolades. First of all, we was raised by a single mother. So for some of the things that he did, I must salute him. We were raised on the south side of Lansing. One mother, three brothers. Two-bedroom townhouse. This young man went to Everett High School, EV alumni. Played ball under Coach Johnny Jones. Was known in the city. You know what I'm saying? With that curl, hitting that three on you. You know what I'm saying? With that KAPPA cane. Then he took his talents on to college. We got a ride for basketball at Saginaw Valley University. Once attending Saginaw Valley University, he decided he wanted to become a school teacher. And straight out of college, got a job in the Saginaw School Districts. And also became a JV coach that same year. From there, he decided to take his talents to become a story keeps going. But the number one thing I'm proud of him for is them two boys that he raised, Chaz Woods and Keason Woods, both attending universities right now. He started a basketball program for them young men. Tri-City Heat. That's my little nephews right there. Without further ado, let me introduce my big brother, Mr. Rodney Woods. How are you doing, my man?
What's up? What's up? What's up? How are you doing?
Good to see you,
brother,
man.
But, big brother as well. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, I'm a little big brother. Man, I'm doing beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to have you on my platform, man. This feels great. This is like full circle. The vision of my happening, and here it is. I used to talk to you on the phone about it. We made it happen.
Hey, I just want to say how proud of you I am. Something that you've talked about. We have talked about many different goals and dreams that you have, and to see this one that I think you are doing a fantastic job. I think it's tailor-made for you. I'm very proud of you, honored that you have asked me to be on your show. So I am excited. I'm going to give you the free liberty to kind of probe me and kind of ask me anything. So again, I am excited to be your guest. So thank you very much.
Like I say to every guest, no one can introduce themselves better than themselves. For those that do not know you, can you please introduce yourself, sir?
All right. Obviously, Rodney Woods, Devin's big brother. Grew up Lansing, Michigan. Fabulous city. To me, the best city in Michigan. With that being said, I have a beautiful wife of going on 23 years in July. 7/11 is our anniversary. I never forget that. We have two beautiful boys. One is our oldest son is 21. He will be 22 next month. Can't believe it. And then we have our youngest son. Oh, and my oldest son's name is Chaz Woods, as you said, and my youngest son is Keason Woods, and he just turned 19 actually on the 13th of this month. Both of them are both college students. So I'm very excited. So that's just a short little history about me. Professionally, we're going to get into that as well. I taught I taught third grade for 9 years. Following that, I did 16 years as a principal in the public schools. I just recently retired January 31st. And most people are like, how can you retire so early? We get into that and talk about that. But as soon as I retired, I also started administration with Bay City Academy, which I'm very proud of to be a part of that organization right now. So that's just a little tidbit about me. I could go on forever, but it is your show. So I'll pass the mic back to you right now.
Hey, so let's get right into it, man. Let's start from our humble beginnings, man. Let's talk about our mother, Ernestine Woods. A very special woman to the city. She has helped a lot of people, man. And let's just talk about how important she is in your upcoming, because like, you know, you had some to overcome. Talk about a little bit about your youth, your childhood growing up with a single parent.
Well, yeah, well, I gave you free liberty. Talking about my mom, her birthday was last Thursday. She turned 76. Fabulous. Just my heart is it runs so deep. She raised 3 boys on her own, never had any help. So again, she still lives in the same house that she brought me into this world in. With that being said, I was a young kid. I stutter. So I want to let your audience know that. And just that in itself brought a lot of different challenges, right? Kids are going to be cruel. They're going to tease you, make fun of you. And that happened starting from elementary school, middle school, high school, quite honestly, even as an adult. So that's one thing. Also, I just recently started to share. I was probably about 4 years ago. So I was probably about 45 when the first time I really just said, you know, now's the time to kind of share that I also have a learning disability, right? So I have a learning disability. Always had both of them. So with the combination of the both of them, those are some challenges growing up. Our mom raised us to never tease each other, to always love each other. And my brothers have never once, not even one time ever, made a hush of that, as well as my cousins. I grew up very close with my cousins. There's like, we got a lot of cousins, but there's a couple of us that are very close in age: Idris, Wayne, Kevin, Marquita, Richard, Anthony, and Teresa. So those are kind of like my crew. Obviously, there's some other cousins as well, but that's kind of like our crew because we're very close, within a year or months and stuff apart of each other. And again, they also took care of me, made sure that no one teased me and things like that. So just growing up, our mom was spectacular. Like, she went without she went without clothes. She went without good underclothing, just to make sure that we had what we needed to go to school. I remember I was probably in either the 5th or 6th grade. I'll tell you a quick story. I'm a storyteller, so my boys are like, knowing that dad is long.
That's why we love you here. Come on.
Yeah, so I tell you a quick story. So I remember, well, I want to tell you 2 stories. So one is I was either in the 4th or 5th grade. So this at this moment, our mom had lost her job again, and so I remember that year going to school, and it was back when Jordache jeans were like hot ticket. Jordache and Izod were hot tickets, man. You had to have this, right? Yeah. There's no different than kids today, right? So she didn't have the money for it. Our mom is a fantastic seamstress, right? So I remember wanting those things and mom not having the money for them. She then got out her sewing machine, man, and she actually sewed jeans. She actually followed that pattern to the T. Sewed those jeans, found some old jeans and stuff, and she took the tag off of like that little small Jordache label, and she sewed them on the jeans, man, just so we could go, or I could go to school like everyone else said. I remember that year. Wow. I had two pair of pants, 4 shirts. My mom kept those things in rotation and kept us clean as a whistle. And just knowing her struggle was so real. I tell you another quick story. So fast forward, I'm in middle school, right? The school bus came right in front of our house, was our stop. Well, you now were born and you were 3 years old and you had to go to Pam's nursery school back in the day. Remember that? Pam's nursery school.
Of course, I remember going to Pam's.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So now she's back to work. She has the best job that she had, which she eventually retired from. So she was working for the state of Michigan, and we didn't have a car. And back in Lansing, anybody that lives in Lansing knows that the cattle bus runs on an hour, on a half hour. That's how it runs. So every morning, my 7th and 8th grade year, I had to get up with my mom and you, and we had to walk to the bus stop down the corner, right? So I didn't get to ride the school bus with all the other kids.
Yeah. Every 30 minutes.
Man, I am on the bus at the bus stop. We jump on, and then I had to get off, walk you to preschool. And if anybody knows where Pam's preschool is, that on help me out, Martin Luther King now, I think it's called. Back then it was called Logan Street.
It's on MLK, it's on MLK,
yeah. So I had to drop you off there and then walk all the way to Gardner Middle School, back then Gardner Junior High. So I had to walk all the way back there. Now in the afternoon, I got an opportunity to ride the bus with all my friends, hang out. But then at 4:30, I had to jump back on the bus, right? Get you off. I'm now running because by about 5:10, 5:15, our mom is on the other bus coming the other way. So I had to grab you. Most days you just being a 3-year-old crying, don't want to go. So I had to grab you, run to the bus stop to jump on the bus to meet our mom coming back. So we all home at 5:30. That's our struggle, man. And our mom was real, and whatever she told us she would do, she would do. So she's a very special person. So yeah.
Man, she's an extremely special person. Because like some of those stories I can relate with mom making clothes for us and just so we can shine. And her having to go without, and I remember you being like, Mom, I don't need that. I remember you telling her a lot not to get you things, to get herself things, man. So to be able to have that type of support system to get you going. So now we have that established, man. So now, you got a pretty good support system. You got your little brother, that's your knucklehead. You got a big brother. So you have an older brother as well. He's a little bit older, so he's living his life a little bit faster because he's 10 years older than you. So he's like, he's 8 years older than you, isn't he?
7 and a half.
7. So that's why I get it off. So yeah, so we had a lot. So now you're in school, man, and now I know that you're a baller, man. You're a hooper. So when did you really take basketball seriously? It's like, this is the way I'm going to get up out of the situation that I'm in.
Yeah. I play basketball. Well, I started off my very first sport, believe it or not, was football, right? So I started off with playing football.
I was born there.
So I started off playing football with all of my cousins, Idris, Wayne, and Kevin, right? So we all played football for Southside Cobras. Anybody remember that? So I'm taking you way back. So I started off. My next sport actually was baseball. There was a team practicing at Georgetown Park, and I was at the park one day. I said, "Hey, can I play?" Coach said, "Come on, try out." Try it out, played, and I was a pretty good baseball player. I was probably better in baseball than probably anything, but I fell in love with basketball. So when I got in around the 7th grade, it was around the 7th, 8th grade when like travel kind of started to kind of take some shape. I got asked to play on. No, I think actually maybe my cousin Wayne was playing on the team. I think anyway. I asked, could I just join this team? So I joined the team, and and I played that year and had a great time. And then I played again. And in 2, I will always play at the court. So let me just tell you just a quick story, right? So Georgetown, although there's no rims and courts there now, but Georgetown, man, people
get Georgetown
all the time, right? And if you had game like all the kids now, they all got to play indoors. No, ballers play outside, right? So we always played outside, and the courts were always packed during the summertime. I mean, it would just be, man, people who can't hoop just going there to watch, girls there, picnic tables out. It was just a gathering. So that was always attractive to me. So I would go down there as a little kid to kind of shoot on the side. Eventually, I got about 13, 14, and I was at least good enough to play from about 4:30 to like maybe 6, right? Because the real baller shot to come about 5:36. So by the time I got to be about 15, I'm ready. All right, I can play with the big dogs. So that kind of really started me off and really started my love, man, is just playing outside and just hooping and trying to gain my street cred to be able to like play and like hoop with the big dogs. So that then fast forward to me in high school, and I know they're not probably young, but man, two dudes that I just was amazed with it was the twins. I mean, the twins were like the stuff when I was in high school.
Carl and Charles, right?
Carl and Charles Thomas, man. And yeah, and those dudes could ball, man. And I was a few years younger than them. So I would just watch, man. I would just watch Carl, man, just go to work on some defense. And those dudes had some jumps and they could shoot the ball. So when I was in high school, I was really attracted. Now, man, I'm all in. And fast forward, I just became one of the guys on the team. I mean, I played with some great guys: Corey Kim, Don Brown, Tony Glover, J.C. LaRoche. I can't think of our center.
All them dudes.
Right now. Yeah, man. So yeah, it was just a fun time, man. So that's kind of what hoop was for me, man.
You're also known for something else at that time too.
What?
So you were also known for something else at that time. You were the local barber, man. You and my cousin Idris, y'all used to cut people's hair. You know, used to keep me fresh for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I will give that credit to Idris. I mean, I could just do just enough not to really make you look bad, but I give that to my cousin Idris.
You bowed me up a couple times, man. I ain't gonna lie. I got a couple of pictures where you chili bowed me up, man. Don't act like you ain't bowed me.
I did.
Dirty a couple times, dude.
I did for sure.
Yeah, man. So, all right, man. So now you in hoop. So tell me about basketball. Were you a 3-year varsity player or 4?
Actually, man, I want to say I was a 2-year JV player, 2-year varsity player, to be quite honest. I remember when I was a junior, right? So that's what I tell a lot of young kids, man. Play where you fit. You want to play. Don't just be a freshman or a sophomore just to be on varsity to say you're on varsity. If you ain't playing, then what's the good of it, right? So my junior year is when I played on varsity, and I didn't even start the first few games. I remember the game that kind of really got me inside that starting lineup. I was playing against Eastern, and they were ranked, I want to say, in the top 5 in the state or something like that. They had a great team. My cousin Idris was on the other side of and he played for Eastern, and we were playing, and I got called into the game, and that game I can't really remember how many threes I hit that game, but I hit my fair share of threes, and from that moment I got that nod, and I started, and I never gave it up.
So when did you recruit?
My recruitment, man. See, back then, your high school coach was everything, right? Your high school coach is where everything was funneled through. So I didn't really even know that I had even got letters and things like that because Coach Jones was one of very few black male role models that I had, and so I definitely looked up to him. So he actually was all about team, right? So, and didn't want things to get distracted. So at the end of the season, he called me inside of his office and he says, "Hey, look inside the drawer." And I had letters. and that was a surprise to me back then. Like, a lot of kids know a lot more about the whole recruiting process than I did. I didn't really know anything about the recruiting process. So I kind of had some letters. He set up some visits, one being to Saginaw Valley State. And I remember going on that visit, fell in love with the campus. I know my wife is on, but I'll be honest, I saw a girl walk past and I'm thinking, oh, I should go to this college. and that was some of it. So obviously it worked out because I met my wife on campus, and I'm still with her.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Talk about what?
What's up, Jennifer? Here, say something. Let's talk about Jennifer. My sister-in-law that holds it down. She's been holding the fort down since the day I met her.
Yeah. So strong woman, right? Like for me, like I always was attracted to like beauty, right. So for me, and I think for everyone, like you are attracted to them. So I was instantly attracted to her. So that was the easiest part because she's a beautiful woman, right? So but I also really attracted to intelligence, right? Like that's an attraction to me, right? Someone that's intelligent, self-motivated, that career goal oriented, and she was feisty, right? She was very feisty. She put me in my place. I really never had a girl that I dated that challenged me as much as she did at times, all up in my business. So she's just super intelligent too. So that was very attractive to me, and and I met her, and I didn't have any intentions on actually dating her for a long amount of time, and officially 23 years and probably about 26 years of 27 together. So there you go. Hello?
Man, that's beautiful. Hey man, let's talk about. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, brother?
Can you hear me still?
Okay.
Yes,
sir, I can. So, you guys had one of the most memorable. I've been to a lot of weddings since yours, and you guys brought together different sides of the spectrum. Talk about it to me. You know, you guys definitely. So let's talk about Chaz. When Chaz comes in the world, man, he's on everything, man. You can't talk to right. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Oh, you're breaking up, so I didn't catch everything.
I'm sorry about that. Okay, hold on one second. I'm trying to work on that. Can you hear me?
No. Can you hear me?
All right. I'm back. You hear me better now?
Yes.
All righty, man. So what I was talking about was you and Jennifer, and you guys have my little knucklehead nephew. So let's talk about the light of your life first, man. Your firstborn.
Firstborn special. He's super special. I tell you, I'm gonna go back, right? Because we didn't have a father growing up, right? So it was only our mother. So I didn't really have that male role model to kind of learn what to do and what not to do. I had some uncles, but again, I mean, I kind of saw what they did a little bit, but didn't really have a true window. So I remember, man, when she told me that she was pregnant, I was pumped, right? I was pumped. It was planned, like everything was planned, so no surprises there, but I was just elated. So I'm going to fast forward and take you to now he's here, right? And I remember, man, I held him for the first time. And I remember it like it was yesterday, right? And I was holding him and I looked at him, and what came over me was like, I said, I don't know how to be a dad. I don't know how to be a dad. And then a tear, I remember, rolled down, and I said, you know what? All that I'm going to do is try to do everything possible that I wish was done for me. And somewhere in that, I have to be an okay, at least dad. And I set out, and that's what I set out to do at that time, is just to be there, be present, and not just be there financially.
All good, man.
I wanted to be there present every day, all day. And that's just what I try to do, man, is just to be present. And he was so special, man. He was so special to me. I played with the man like every day, right? I'm out there every day playing with him. Yeah. So he was so special. And then we can go to Keason next.
Yeah, man. So tell me about when Keason came, man, because you know, at this point, that dude right there is special, man. Keason is super athletic. He's super intelligent, man. Overall, awesome kid, man. So tell me a little bit about your second son, man, because I know your boys, but the reason why your boys get like that because of how we were and how our father was. And the thing that touched me the most was don't know how to be fathers. We did not have any male role models of that such to show us how to do what you did. And what I had to go off of was you, you know, but at least I had that. You didn't have anybody. So that's why I want to salute you, man, and give you roses right now that you know you're worthy, to shed the tear for what you did, because your heart paid off, big brother. Your boys is good.
Appreciate it. So Keason, man, another man, super joy too. So he came into the role world different. So he was C-section, so that was all planned out. It was no surprises. We knew the day I tried to talk her into doing the 14. She was like, "No, I'm ready for him to come out." So Keason comes out, man. Where Chaz looked a lot like me, man. He looked so much like me growing up. He was just a lighter skinned version of me, right? Where Keason, he was very different. He was unique. He kind of had his own look, and he looked more maybe like his mom, but he came out, and Keason was one that, man, this dude, if he wasn't crying at his own birthday parties, then it wasn't a birthday party, right? And he was always about his mom, all the time. But I tell you, man, how the tables flipped, right? So Chaz and his mom, very close, beautiful relationship. Now, as Keason grew up, man, this dude walks like me. His mannerisms are like mine a lot. We had the same taste buds, and we laugh and joke, and it's just beautiful to kind of see him come full circle. Very responsible young man. So just a joy. Both of them are very responsible, very different, but very much alike. And I just remember how cute he was, his little chubby face and chubby cheeks, and just another joy to our world. And I'm proud of both of them, right? So I have a junior in college. that plays basketball. That's Chaz. And then I have Keason. He's a freshman at Indiana Wesleyan University, and he plays football. Chaz plays for Northwood University here in Michigan. So proud of both of them, man.
I'm super proud of him, man. I'm proud of the whole family. So, man, let's talk about your basketball program, man, that you had these boys playing in. What made you start your own AAU, YBOA at that time program? Where you actually were the founder of it, you began it from scratch, and you built it. What made you do something like that at that time in your life, being so busy with being a principal?
Just the love that Chaz had for the game, man. It really started out as of course I love the game of basketball, but Chaz seemed like he bounced out of the womb loving basketball, right? This little guy, I have videos of him being 2 and 3, just shooting the ball, just shoot, that, shoot, and he would just shoot the ball. He just liked the game of basketball, always have. I remember he had some wrestlers that he actually, when he was like 3 or 4, asked his mom to put numbers on the back of them, right? So they could have jerseys, right? So he always loved the game of basketball. Fast forward to him being in the 5th grade, I was with a friend of mine, Mario Williams, that our kids were playing rec ball together, and Mario was like, man, we got to start a team. We got to start a team. I'm like, I don't know, Mario, if we got to do it, we got to do it the right way, blah, blah, blah. So again, we said, hey, let's start this thing up. So once I made up my mind, like most things in life, I'm going to be determined. I'm going to understand that there's going to be some hurdles and some obstacles, and there's some times that I'm going to fall down, but I got to pick myself up, dust myself off, right, and keep on pushing. And we started up this organization. We started out with just Chaz's team, and Chaz's team was always the oldest team. And as they went to 6th grade to 7th grade, we just built up underneath their team. And my goal at that time was 5 teams in 5 years. Well, we kind of succeeded that goal. 1 year we had 2 teams at the same grade level, and we just grew the brand. And I got to give a lot of credit out to the families that entrusted us and the coaches that I brought in, because we had teams eventually from 5th grade all the way up to 12th grade. And I just have to give the credit to the families, right, that entrusted us to bring their kids, to bring their sons in our program, and for us to kind of teach them the game of basketball. Our foundations was we built this thing on family values, on old family values, and just treating people the right way. And whatever we said we would do, we did. And I just got to give credit to my coaches. Everybody was volunteering, and they were dynamic. We eventually, my 3rd year, created a board. I have board members that gave themselves anything I asked them to do. So it really and truly, man, Devin, it truly was not about me at all. It really was about everyone else that really came on board and supported that cause. And it was very important for me to treat kids the right way, treat families the right way. And I always said, if we do that, then we can have a successful product. And I think from 2010 to 2019, when I stepped down, I think we were just that. We were successful in that goal, in that mission. And I give everyone credit for joining in that cause.
Yeah, man, you definitely had a dynamic squad. It was, I know some of the team members that you guys had, and wow, you guys really did powerful things to try to see the heat in the community in Saginaw. And you guys changed a lot of lives. A lot of boys, they met each other. There's a lot of kids with this played ball. You had a couple of different sets of kids that went off to college together after playing high school ball together. So, you've done that was a big thing, just to say, I started this program because my son wanted to play basketball. Look what it formed into.
Yeah. And too, it was initially for my son's passion, but I was also passionate about helping other kids too, right? I kind of understood that the platform that we have, we can be a mentor and impact other kids' lives, things that I didn't have growing up. So I thought that was very important to actually give back, right? And I kind of learned those lessons from my mom, and I gotta at some point talk about the best teacher in the world as well, because she was also very impactful into getting me to where I'm at today.
Yes. And just a shout out, man. Mom's on here. Shout out Ernest Woods. Thank you, Ernest, for getting mom on here. Mom's on here watching us, man. She said hi. She loves us.
Thank you, Mom. Appreciate you.
You know, Mom will get on Facebook. This is probably her first time ever. So this is breaking the internet right now.
I'm sure.
So now, man. So now you have your organization going. Principal. At what age did you say, you know what, I'm gonna go back to school and get another degree? Because we're not gonna just talk about one degree. You have multiple. So let's say you done with college. You already a teacher. You already became a basketball coach. You got things going for yourself. What made you say, I want to hire my education and go back to school?
Well, I've always been a person to say, if they can do it, then I can do it, right? I might have to do it a little bit differently, but I can do it. So as I was getting in, I was probably in my 6th or 7th year of being a teacher. And I had a principal, Joe Books at the time, great guy. And I was just talking to him one day, and I'm thinking, man, I like his leadership style and things like that. And I said, I think I can do it too. So that kind of got me on that pursuit to kind of say, hey, look, I can do it. I had already gotten my master's degree because I was just back in school because I thought maybe one day I would want to do something different. So I was kind of in the master's program, kind of punching along. And probably my 3rd or 4th year, maybe of teaching, I think maybe my 3rd, that's when Jennifer said, hey, we're going to have a baby. So at that point, I'm thinking, whoa, I got to get going. I got to get moving. So I really buckled down and I got that master's degree. And then I started to pursue the administration. And that came to fruition. My 8th year, I became a sub. I was actually subbing as a principal. And at the time, my principal was Kim Prime. And I was subbing, kind of doing that work. And and she liked what I was doing. And following year, after my 9th year, I got the opportunity to become an assistant principal.
Man, that's big. And what age were you? How old were you when that happened?
Oh, man, I don't know. I was in my early 30s. I was in my early 30s, maybe early 32. 30s. Yeah, maybe 32. All right. 32, 33, maybe.
So what age did you get a head principal job? How long were you a VP before they gave you the promotion?
About 4 or 5 years. I mean, I would have to go back. Maybe about 4 or 5 years it took me. Yeah. So,
all right. And how long were you inside that particular school district?
Well, we can talk about that. So I was with basically public schools for a little over 25 years. Now I was very fortunate.
So congratulations on that.
I appreciate that. So I was very fortunate. I'm a person that loves to listen and learn. And I had a student inside my room, probably my 3rd year of teaching, 3rd or 4th year teaching. And Dad was a financial advisor. And he says, young man, let me sit you down and talk to you about buying years. And at this time, I'm like, I'm going to teach forever. No. So I finally listened. I sat down one day after school. He opened up and he started to kind of explain to me the benefits of buying 5 years. So without going inside that story, I bought the 5 years, right? So fast forward now to where I'm at now, that actually gave me the opportunity to have a 31 service and to be able to retire. So I retired, and I believe, and you already know this, Devin, you never stop a job until you have another job, right? So I have a job. So I was blessed to also then be able to shift to Bay City Academy, where I am thrilled to be at. And I am on the administration team at Bay City Academy. So loving life, man, and just trying to keep working hard, keep my head down, and always trying to do the right thing.
You know what I learned about successful people? They always just brush over the most important things. You just went over that. Like, hold on. You just had a 25-year career, retired. The Friday you retired, you started your new career on that following Monday. I ain't gonna let you just agree. That's incredible, and that's something worthy to be mentioned, man. You just always, oh yeah. I just got another master's. Oh yeah, I just got Tri-City Heat. Yeah, everything, Rodney. You're doing great, man. And nobody really tells you that, because I know I don't tell you that often, because I was lost in my own mess. I wasn't into what you were doing, but you were moving, and I knew you were moving full forward ahead. And I always looked up to that. And your accomplishments were never going on seen by me, by friends, by family. You are definitely one of the elders in the family at this point, man. You know, Uncle Richard and you know, and Uncle Wayne. You know, they're older, and we had to talk about this on New Year's with the family. And it's time for the next generation to step up and put things together. You, Richard, Wayne, Kevin, you know, all of us. You know, the list goes on. We all have to step it up, and you definitely have been an inspiration to us all. And I want to talk about the next venture that you did. Through all of that, you decided to go back and do something that people do when they're young at a later point in your life. You decided to join a fraternity. Let's talk a little bit about that, big bro.
Hey, man. Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Best frat in the world. Don't ever forget it, people. So yeah, to be honest, I tell you, one, I started, so I'll go way back. So back in high school, and I would like to see this come back. So when I was in high school, like like the whole frat life in high school, although it's not like college, obviously, was big in Lansing. So I was a Kappa leader, which is a leadership development group up under Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So I was a Kappa leader, loved my experience during my junior and senior year of high school. So then fast forward, I could go to college my freshman year. Obviously, I didn't do it at that time. My sophomore year is when I kind of wanted to think about kind of starting to pledge and things like that. But again, I went to a smaller university, so frat life wasn't really huge where I was at, Saginaw Valley State. So then some different things happened where it wasn't an opportunity to actually pledge my sophomore and junior year. And so I was a fifth year, so I graduated in 5. So those next 3, it was an opportunity. It rolled itself back around my senior year, but by that time, just not really understanding the power of kind of the organization. I chose to kind of just buckle down, focus, and go ahead and graduate college. So I did that, but I never lost the love. I never lost the passion. Really quick. So in 2018, I see my cousin Kevin pledge a fraternity.
Yeah,
I said, wow, okay. And I want to say I might say it wrong. I think he's with Mu Beta 5 or something like that. It's a military one. So I'm thinking, wow, he did it. And I'm thinking, you know what? I've always wanted to be. There's only one way for me. It's only one way. It's Kappa Alpha Psi for me. So I said, you know what? That really started to inspire me. Long story short, I got the information in 2020, and I said, you know what? Now's the time. I'm doing it. And man, I'm so glad I did. And I clearly understand at this age, my plight, my focus is different. It's really about community service and helping our young African-American Black males achieve higher and more goals. And I'm now currently in the bond and Man, it's beautiful. Kind of through COVID has been a somewhat different experience, obviously, because we're all dealing with COVID and some of those mandates. But again, I became an advisor of KAPPA leaguers. So, man, it's just beautiful, man. Hey, man, hey, I am proud to be a nuke, man.
I know you are, man. That's why I'm proud of you, because what you did was you proved to people there's no age limit on your own personal achievements. Whatever you want to achieve, if you want to do something, it's not too late. And that's what you represent. And that's what I'm trying to represent right now, which is a great segue to go into a little bit about that. You deciding to make a change in your life and do something that you've always wanted to do was huge. Like you said, you watched our cousin Kevin. I watched you guys change. I watched people around me change. And that's one reason why I'm on the new path that I'm on right now of change. So if you don't mind me asking you, big bro, if I could segue into this and ask you, how did you deal with the times where I was not on the right path? Because you are like my father figure, man. You and Ernest did everything for me because I didn't have a father. And how are you feeling when I was going down the wrong path? I was in jail. You know, I was just on the wrong path. How did you feel?
My heart was broken, right? Because I know greatness, right? I know greatness, and greatness is different for everybody at different times, right? And I knew what you were capable of doing, but in those moments, you didn't understand how capable and how special you were, and so I had to be patient. I had to wait. I had to stay firm with what I believe in. Is no different where I'm with my own two sons. My oldest son is kind of getting that right now, where I say, hey, no, you can do it. I believe you can do it. And here's what I believe in. Sometimes that message is taken, oh, he doesn't care or he doesn't love me. No, it doesn't mean that at all. Is I believe that and 100%, right? So you have to bring your 50%. I have to bring my 50%, right? And that makes 100. Even if I bring 70% and you're unwilling to bring yours 30% and you only want to bring 10%, well, that's only 80%. Then we don't have 100%. So we're not successful, right? So I just had to wait that time out until you were ready to say, hey, look, I got to be able to take care of myself. One thing that I've always said, and people would say sometimes it's selfish, and it's really not. I'm a firm believer that you must be able to take care of yourself 100%, mind, body, and soul, before you can bring anyone else into your union, right? So you have to be able to take care of yourself. And I could tell when I visited you, and man, that was a great trip. When I visit you, I knew, I could see in your heart, I could see in your body, I could see in your body language, this dude is here. He's arrived. He's ready to go. And that's why, man, hey, I've been here for you, man. I've been always here for you, man. Love you.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So tell me, man, tell me about you. Tell me about you.
Man, I feel great. Let me change the subject so I get these tears up off my face. I feel great. I look good. Feel good. I lost 40 pounds, man. I got a new studio. Feel good. Got a brand new, beautiful car. You know what I'm saying? Washing down every day with no payments. Got my mama healthy. Just had another birthday. Got my big brother on my show. My wife completely supporting me. You know what I'm saying? She could have left my black butt behind, but she did not. She stayed there and held it down with me. All my friends and family. The support is overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? It's like the support that I get doesn't even seem real. It's like, God, you love me this much? This much?
Yeah.
So,
yes, he does.
So to have you on here right now and tell me that you're proud of me, when I watched you look at me between those jail walls, when we was at that plexiglass, you held that phone, I held that phone, and you looked at me and said, this ain't you, and I ain't coming back to see you. and you hung up. And then I remember that you said, I can't see you like that because that's not you. And I will never forget that. And I always felt like, oh, my brother don't love you. That's not what it was. When we had these talks, you were just explaining to me that you had to let me grow into myself. It was like, Devin, I don't want to ruin any relationship we could have with you being in the wrong perspective and the wrong mind frame. I knew you would get to this point, and you have been so open arms and helpful to me. Kafara, I see you on here. She's been holding me down. My sister Jennifer has been holding me down. So I just had to touch base. My mama's on here. You know, I talk to my mama. I call her at any time. My brothers hate me because I call Ernestine at any time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I hate being a crybaby on TV. You done shed my first tear on Destined. I'm mad at you for this. I didn't want this, but I done did it.
No, you know, but life is good, right? Becoming a young man is different for everybody, right? Becoming a young man, I believe successful people in life understand that they're going to be unsuccessful, right? So successful people understand that they're going to have hurdles, they're going to fall, right? Because success only comes with the lessons you learn, right? And I think your title is right on point. You're destined for greatness, right? So we're all trying to get there, right? So, and that's why for me, whatever achievements I have, I mean, I like to, I acknowledge them, but I'm not done, right? You're not done. We're not done, right? So we're still pushing, right? So that's just that love, man. And you're doing the right things. You have noticed, hey, drinking is not for me, right? So, and when I went out with you this summer, you didn't have anything to drink. I was proud of you, right? Because you know that is toxic for you, right? So talk about that.
I can talk about it. I can talk about it on what it did. And what it did was, and what it does to many people, is it puts you in a place where you shun people and you stay away from people as far as you can because you don't want them to know the truth and you want to hear the truth. Because when I came around certain individuals, they were going to tell me about myself. They're going to be like, Devin, you know, this, that. And I didn't want to hear that. I was very argumentative and I pushed people away. And then I'm on an island by myself. And that makes you want to drink more. So like I tell people, drinking is not everybody's vice, right? Everybody has something. Some people might be cigarettes. Some people might be harder drugs or pills. Mine happened to be alcohol. When I drank, it changed my person. It made me more hateful, where I'm a good-spirited person. It would make me fall out with people that I never wanted to fall out with. And some of those relationships could have been broken forever. But the power of God in sobriety right now, I have gained some of the respect back and building some of these relationships back with many more to still go. I'm not done. And it feels good today to have a friend that's 90 days sober that's seen me get sober that says, we started a program together. And now we have people that's joining us that's getting sober. So all my hard knocks and everything I went through negative was just so I can be an example for somebody else, show them they can get up out of that. Maybe you might have been going through what I've gone through. Maybe you weren't the best father you were supposed to be to your beautiful daughters. Maybe you weren't the best brother you're supposed to be. Maybe you weren't the best son, but you can start today. Because all I did was say, I'm done. You know, I'm done. This is no longer going to control my life or control my outcomes anymore. I will submit myself to a higher calling and say, Devin, put your big boy pants on. Nobody can help you but Devin. The moment I noticed that Rodney couldn't help me, Ernestine couldn't help me, nobody can help me but me, that's the day that I seen things change in my life.
Man, you said everything that I wanted to say to you when you were 20, right? But saying those things then would not have been as powerful and meaningful as they are now, right? Because we as men, we have to learn those things. We have to come to that point. And you will notice that you and I never really argued during all those times, right? Because you weren't ready to hear what you just said. You had to come to that point yourself. And once you came to that point and you owned it, Now we can have this conversation. And me trying to give you and deliver that message too early, we would have only fought, right? And argued and had tension. And I never wanted that, because I believed, like, we didn't really get much into this, but from the time you were born until the time I left for college, man, I took care of you every single day, every summer. I was taking care of you. I was cutting your hair. I was dressing you. I was getting you ready. I was sending you outside. I was telling you to come in. I was making you lunch. So my domestic skills, I don't show them off to my wife. Hopefully she's turned off so she don't make me work. But my domestic skills, I have those things. So I was very close with you. So I know what you're capable of. I'm very close to both of my boys. I know what they're capable of, and it's me pushing them. They are a little bit differently because they're so close to my heart. But I'm starting that same path, man, and I'm very proud of you, man.
And I thank you. And I thank you for coming on here, man. There's like so much to talk about, but I definitely feel like we highlighted some very, very special things. But there's anything that you have to ask me?
Oh no, man. No. The only thing for your viewers that we didn't touch on that I like to touch on, man, is education, man.
Let's do it. Hey, half of my shows are about that. Half of my shows, man. I got school board members on it, teachers on it. So let's talk about it, man. I'm an educator a little bit on that. So let's go. Yeah. What's on your mind?
Let's talk about education from the standpoint of I believe in kids, right? Outside of my mom, like, I have some beautiful angels. My mom, my wife, right? And then I had a teacher, right? So I was a kid, man, that struggled. And I tell teachers, my message is, we say we're all about kids, but you got to be all in for kids, right? Because you never know what they will turn out to be, right? And our words and our messages and our body language and everything speaks, right? And they watch and they feed, right? And we don't know the homes that they come from. We don't know what is on their plate. And for a lot of these young kids, they have a very full plate. So for me, I was a kid, as I already articulated, that stutters. I still do all the time, every day, as well as I had a learning disability, right? So, and I was going to get passed over. Had a strong mom, went inside that school and was like, no, he's not reading. I was like in the 3rd grade. No, he's not. We need to do something else. So, and I'm gonna skip a lot. So finally she pushes the envelope. I get into special education, which again, I didn't really even start telling people until I was like 45, 46 years old, because I was embarrassed and I was hiding it, right? Because I was just a very diligent, hard worker. So I get into Miss Donahue's class, and man, as I tell teachers all the time, when you have kids 3rd, 4th grade, they don't really remember what lesson you taught some January, wintry day. What they will remember is who you are as a person and how you made them feel. So she really helped kind of make me fall in love. Then I fast forward, I'm in middle school, and now I'm getting a little bit more wily and a little bit more smart about things. And I'm like, I'm not being taught the same thing as my friends, right? They're giving me this work, and it's kind of baby work. And back in the early 80s, that's kind of how we did things. It was always down on a wing, and kids would make fun of you. You're going down with the dumb kids and all kind of nasty things that they would say. So fast forward, at this time, I'm a determined little stink, right? And I say, I ain't going to that class. So I go inside the office. One of the very few males that I saw in education outside of Johnny Jones was Mr. Wilson, my counselor. I was like, look, I ain't going. You need to go to class. They were telling me, we're going to call your mom. I was like, you can call her. I ain't going to that class because I can do what they can do. Now, mind you, finally, I get my way, man. And I remember they put me inside that English class. I just wanted that little small book that had the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and everything in it. And I remember sitting there, Devin, man, in that seat praying, like, please don't call on me. Please don't call on me. Because I didn't know what they knew, right? But I was determined that I was going to find out. Fast forward again. So now I got to talk about Miss Monteith. So Miss Monteith is, in my opinion, the best teacher ever, even better than me, right? So I remember her. So I get inside her 9th grade class and I go there and I'm thinking, I ain't going to these classes. No, not doing this. So she was very articulate, very smart. And she set me down and we just had a conversation. And she talked to me and she said, I agree with you, or whatever she said. So I got my way. I was in all gen ed classes, but what she did is she said, well, why don't you just keep my class and you can bring your work here and I can help you, right? So I was like, okay, that kind of sounds good because I need some help, right? And so what my plan was, what this can't be on my schedule. Whatever you calling this, we got to study out some whatever it was. I don't know what she did. Didn't care. It wasn't on my schedule. So I stayed with her, man, all 4 years, man. And I remember, man. So let's talk about hoop, right? So I remember a story I tell. So I take the back then ACTs, and I have a full ride scholarship waiting for me, right? With academics and athletics combined, I'm not paying anything, and I don't pass. And I go to her and I'm crying. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And she says, look, I will help you. She was like, if you meet me in the library, I'm pretty sure it was on Mondays and Wednesdays at 3:30 before basketball practice. I will help you. And she bought me a program out of her own money, right? And I still have this program to this day. I can't do anything with it. It's those big long floppy disks, right? And she helped me, man. And long story short, obviously, man, hey, I passed that test with her help, and yeah, it was beautiful. So I tell people in education, man, we got to be there for the right reasons. We got to be there for kids. And don't get me wrong, we always go out and we always save them all, and we always try to hope we save them all. But we got to make sure that we're there for all the right reasons, right? Because we don't know what is on their plates and what they're coming from. So I say, man, be determined in life, right? My road, and I could talk forever, but I won't. But I've had a lot of tough times, man. I have fallen down more times than the average person, but I gotta get back up, right? I have my wife depending on me. I have my boys depending on me, Chaz and Keason, and I also have the world watching. So with that being said, yeah, man, I get sad and discouraged like anybody else. But I got to be able to get back up, dust myself off, and fight another day, man, because every day is a new opportunity. So that's where I'm at, man.
And Chris, you touched on something that's very, very important that I talked to some of the teachers about that I speak with in the groups. How do you feel? Since you said back in your day, special education was in a different wing of the school. Well, nowadays they call it SPED, and they're in the same class with the regular education students now. And some teachers are saying that's not a good idea now because they're kind of, they know that they're different inside that class. They have different work. They have different requirements of times when they can turn in their assignments. So what is your thoughts right now on the new way of they're doing the special education department? And also, this is a two-part question. And the second part of it, do you actually think that many Black students that are actually special ed students, or do you think that there is something going on with how they're evaluating the students right now for that education program?
Well, it's really a combination of a lot of things, right? And we would have to pull each one of those pieces out and talk about them differently. So I just want to say it's not a really one fit answer to kind of just give an answer. It's really individually pulling those pieces apart. But I just talk about the current model that most people use, where a push-in model, right? So with that being said, I just want to say that all kids can learn, okay? But they learn differently, right? And they learn at different rates. So, but we all can finish the race, right? So most kids that are going to come into special ed, is because they always say it's a processing speed, right? They're just not processing information, right? So, but that doesn't mean that they can't learn, okay? So processing information, like my wife processes information very quickly, right? My oldest son is super intelligent, like I tell him all the time, like he's super intelligent. And where my youngest son's a hard worker, right? A very hard worker. But it's about processing. So they need to be exposed to all the same content because our minds work, our brains work, right? How that gets from here to paper, we're going to have to do that a little bit differently, right? So I'm a firm believer in technology. It helps me every day, right? Where I can read and write and all that kind of stuff. Well, but I still use technology, right? I still use my phone to speak into if there's a word that I want to spell that I don't know how to spell. I use a computer to read back to me anything that I'm typed in there. So they must be exposed to the work, right? Because they can learn. But what we have to do is we have to differentiate that instruction for that student, so that student can then still get the same content because they're capable of learning the content, but they just may need some accommodations and taking that information and differentiating it where they can produce and show that they have mastered that content as well. Now,
man, that's a wonderful answer.
Yeah, and so you also spoke of the whole race thing. That's a little bit longer of a conversation, but
we have a lot of young Black students inside special education right now. A lot.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a combination of a lot, and due to time, I won't really kind of touch on that right now. But I will say yes. There is definitely more minorities and economically disadvantaged students in that, and that comes with a combination of a lot of things, from just being exposed to certain just being exposed to education earlier in life, to their experiences that they have personally experienced, like travel and different things like that, as well as quite honestly, and I love education, it's also depends a lot of times on what is actually taking place at the school that they're in, right? So it's a combination. And so we also got to really get our minority families bought into the whole education side of things as well. So there's really not just one answer for all. It's really a combination of things. So without really diving deep into, just to give you a very broad over take on it, is more complicated than just one answer.
Exactly. Well, that still was a good answer because you're definitely right. It has a lot to do with the circumstances in general. Basically circumstances. That's what I took from it. But at the same token, it also proves that just because your child might be in those type of programs don't mean they can't be a teacher or a principal or a founder of an AAU basketball organization, or be a KAPPA, or be a father of two it's in college, or be a husband of 20 plus years. So that doesn't mean, don't let your disadvantages handicap you. If anything, use anything that you feel like hold you back, use that as your motivation to push you forward. Because my biggest crutch right now is alcohol, and that's exactly what's pushing me right now to be destined for great. I'm using something that it was hurting me, but I use it as strength. So if you have something in your life that you feel like you can't overachieve, you can't get over it, focus on that more about beating it. And that's all my big brother did. He said, I will refuse to be in these classes while my boys is over there. I'm going to work. If I got to work 3 times as hard as them, I'm going to accomplish that. And that's what Destined for Greatness is about. And I want to thank you so much for coming on my show. We had an amazing show. It was emotional. It was informational. We made it happen, big bro. We made it happen.
We made it happen. Hey, man, thank you again. Proud of you. Keep pushing. Man, as a quote I have on my Facebook page, man, believe when no one else will, right? I love you, man. I'm honored to be on your show. Thank you for everything. Shout out to all my noops. Love you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, now, man. Take out me. Stay in the back. I'll talk to you in a second.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. For another amazing episode of Destined for Greatness podcast. I'm your host, Devin Woods. Make sure you tune in Thursday. I have a special guest, Jody Clemens. Yes, from Sexton E-Dub, who will be here. He has a special program he wanted to talk about. University of Indiana alumni. Make sure you guys tune in Thursday at 7. Jody Clemens will be on the show. My brother Rodney was in the building today. He held it down. He showed love. He gave information. And most of all, he showed his little brother some love. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. This is something I do every Thursday, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. So if you're on Facebook, just scroll, hit the like button. And if you see that Cash App sign right there, that's just for donation. I don't expect nothing. $1, I will appreciate it. But y'all see it, man. Legend Studio is going straight to my son, Legend. Once again, like I say every time, I'm out.